What's up, y'all? This is On Point with Miss Britt, and I'm happy to be back. I know it's been a minute. I missed week 1, but I'm here for week 2 of college football, so let's get into some things. So week 1 was a little, it was a little slow because it was a lot of blowouts. But, the game of the week was Texas versus Alabama. So let's start off with that one. So first, let's get into some things. So number 11 Texas, they came to Tuscaloosa to visit number 3 Alabama, which Texas is the future SEC opponent, and they rallied back in the second half to defeat Alabama 34-24. Texas ended Alabama's 21 home game win streak. They also ended Alabama's 43 game winning streak in a non-conference home games. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers, he threw for 3 touchdowns. Adonai Mitchell caught 2 of those touchdown passes, a 7-yarder and a 39-yarder. It was a long night, child, for Alabama's quarterback, Jalen Milroe. He struggled all night. He had 2 interceptions, which resulted in 10 Texas points. He also had 2 touchdown passes, and he passed for 255 yards. This was Texas' first road victory against a top 3 team in the AP Top 25 since 1969. So Texas is back, and this is going to get real interesting because they join the SEC next year. So we'll see what comes out of that. I'm sure this is going to be a long-standing rivalry to come. And also Texas got redemption from last year when Quinn Ewers went down. Okay, so the next game I'm going to get into with is, of course, I got to mention my Buckeyes. Let's go. Week 1, everybody was talking about our struggles with Indiana because we had struggles at quarterback. Going into this game, they still did not know who the starting quarterback was going to be, whether it was going to be Kyle McCord or Devin Brown. So going into this game, Kyle McCord started again. Devin Brown got a couple of snaps in, but they just announced that Kyle McCord is going to be the starting quarterback. He did have a pretty decent game against Youngstown. They beat Youngstown State 35-7. Kyle McCord had 3 touchdown passes. He threw for 258 yards, and 2 of those touchdown catches came from Marvin Harrison Jr. So now Marvin Harrison is finally going off compared to last week. He had a 71-yard touchdown and a 39-yard. He had 7 catches for 160 yards. Also, Egbuka, it was slow for him last week. He finally got in that game, and he had 5 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown catch. And then on the ground, Travion Henderson, he scored 2 touchdowns for us and had 56 rushing yards. So, the offense is finally starting to get in some sort of rhythm. We still have another game before the real test, which is Notre Dame. So we'll see how that offense is once we face Notre Dame. So there's that. All right, so Colorado, they are now number 22. I believe that just changed over the weekend. The AP Top 25 just came out. I'm a little late. But anyways, Colorado, they're still on their winning streak. This is their first home game. Deion Sanders' first home debut as Colorado's head coach. And then we know that Nebraska got their head coach, Matt Rule. And Colorado and Nebraska, they have this sort of rivalry, but it's looking like it ain't about to be no rivalry now because Colorado stomped them out. 36-14. Colorado did start off a little slow, but they managed to make some fixes and clean it up. So Shedeur Sanders, Colorado's quarterback, he had 3 touchdowns and a 6-yard run. He threw for 393 yards. Colorado's defense forced 4 turnovers. Nebraska's quarterback, Jeff Sims, he fumbled 2 snaps. He lost another on a botched handoff and had a pass picked off. So he threw for 106 yards and he had an interception. Nebraska has dropped its last 5 non-conference road games in 22 straight games against ranked teams dating back to 2016. So right now, Nebraska is struggling to get things started. So Colorado beat them 36-14, if I didn't mention that before. So I just picked out some games that seemed like they were good because, like I said, week 2, it was a lot of blowouts. So we had number 12 Utah versus Baylor. They narrowly escaped an upset by beating them 20-13. Utah has been using 2 quarterbacks while waiting for their starter, Cam Rising, to get back from an injury from the Rose Bowl. Without Cam Rising, they did score 2 touchdowns in final 2 minutes to win. Redshirt freshman quarterback Nate Johnson, he was one of the quarterbacks they were using. He capped a 15-play, 88-yard drive with a 7-yard keeper touchdown in the last 1:59 left in the game. Jalen Glover, he had an 11-yard touchdown run with 17 seconds remaining to seal the win. So that's how they were able to beat Baylor. Number 13, Oregon versus Texas Tech. They ended up winning 38-30. So Oregon ended up going up 8, and they sealed the win with under a minute as Jeffrey Bassa picks off Tyler Show's pass and returns it for a touchdown. And Tyler Show, he used to be, if I'm saying it right, Tyler Show, he used to be an Oregon Duck. So he was trying to, get some redemption against his former team, but I guess it didn't work out. So Oregon's quarterback, Bo Nix, he threw for 359 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. And then Texas Tech's quarterback, Tyler Show, which was a former Oregon Duck, he threw for 3 touchdowns and threw for 101 yards, but he also was responsible for 4 turnovers. And this loss actually ended their Texas Tech's school record 23-game winning streak in home openers. So that sucks for them. And like I said, week 2, we had a lot of blowouts, and some blowouts we had, I obviously I got to mention the number 1 team, the returning champs, the Georgia Bulldogs. They blew out Ball State 45-3. Mekhi Muse, he had a 69-yard punt return for a touchdown, and 3 interceptions propelled the Bulldogs to the blowout. Number 2, Michigan versus UNLV. So Michigan's running back Blake Corum, he had 3 touchdowns, and they ended up blowing out UNLV 35-7. Number 4, Florida State, coming off of that victory against LSU. They faced Southern Mississippi, and they won 66-13. And Florida State's running back Trey Benson had 3 touchdown runs. And then I'm just going to wrap it up with the blowouts. Number 6, USC versus Stanford, 56-10. And USC's quarterback, Caleb Williams, he had 3 touchdown passes. So that is my recap for week 2. All right, so week 3, it's probably going to be a lot of blowouts. But I guess the game that everybody probably will be talking about, well, I hope, is Tennessee versus Florida. But Florida been struggling, child, so we don't even know what's going to happen with that. And then I would say check out Georgia versus South Carolina, but even with that, I'm like, Well, hopefully I'm wrong, and we have some good games in week 3, but it's looking a little slow right now. So I'll return next week, and we'll see what happens. But make sure y'all go and follow my Instagram on_pointsports614, as well as my YouTube, and I'm out.